Hi Social Media Club, this is Jessica Murray, your community manager, and today we're actually celebrating 5 years of Social Media Club, and we couldn't be more excited. So we're actually hosting a few interviews with some of our most valuable chapter leaders from across the globe, and today I have Anders Abrahamsson, who has really led the way for Social Media Club Sweden, and he's joining me on Skype. It's in the evening there, it's in the morning in Chicago. So happy anniversary to Social Media Club, Anders, and I'm glad you could join us for a couple minutes. Today I just want to ask you a little bit about your involvement in Social Media Club. You've been with us for the last couple of years, and first I just want to know, how did you hear about Social Media Club?
Well, back in the days, actually I got a blog comment from Chris Hoyer, and that was before when the Social Media Club took its departure back in 2006. This was around 2005, if I remember right. Actually, we shared a passion for open space technology, the meeting method and so on, through the circles of Chris McRae. So we were actually sharing some kind of mail circling there. And then I checked out and saw the brain jams back then, and using the open space technology, kind of a proto SMC movement going on there. And I really joined the spirit of Web 2.1 for the rest of us. It's really what went up my alley. So from there, I also had a kind of extensive coverage of whatever was happening with the Web 2.0. With the social web as a transformational tool, actually for making the world a better place. So when I saw SMC forming, I thought sometime I will bring it to Sweden, for sure. And it's all about timing. So that was back then, yes.
Yes, and Anders is also, for viewers out there, a writer for our Social Media Club editorial team, so you can follow his blogs every month on the Clubhouse blog, and he does write about a lot of open source and kind of using Web 2.0 for the good and social good and kind of community causes. So what was it about Social Media Club, and after meeting Chris, I know that you've met Chris, you've yet to meet Christy, is that correct?
Still on my list, yeah.
Yes, yes.
You have to drag yourself over the pond. We all
I would love to come over to Sweden.
Yeah, we've been marketing that for a long time now. Actually, what really was attractive about it, it was the kind of open networking model it's built on, and the grassroots spirit, where you're actually fostering community from the local prerequisites, and everything that is built on a kind of top-down model doesn't work, it doesn't sustain. You have to take care of the commitment within a local community. Otherwise, it's not going to be having that longevity needed for taking the seasons. So, and also kind of a soft, hard governance model where you agree to orbit around a few kind of guideline principles, and from there take care of the local resources with your own agenda set, but sharing this kind of global spirit. My old professor usually talk about locality. You have a global shared vision, but you have a local thing going on, and that is the global modeling of it, and that really suited my style of thinking. And
yes, I couldn't agree more, and I heard a lot of great words like community and fostering, and of course those definitely align with Social Media Club missions. So I know that you lead the Östergötland chapter. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Americans never do, so you shouldn't be ashamed. No worries.
I know you lead that chapter, and then we have another 8 chapters in Sweden. Is that correct?
Yeah, in fact, we are in the process of formalization, and in Stockholm there was a kind of informal coincidence. Stockholm Social Media Lunch Club, governed by Annika Lidn, and that was not associated at all with SMC. It was just named the same thing, but sharing the same spirit, a meeting once monthly and a lunch and so on. So, but in fact, Social Media Club Östergötland, there you go, Östergötland, right? it was the first kind of formal social media chapter set up, Social Media Club chapter set up according to the book, so to say. But and inspired by the Stockholm movement, some other kind of meetups, tweet apps and so on, was aligning with that spirit, and it's basically the same thing. So now when we started up this kind of federative thing of Social Media Club Sweden, Chapter Support Association Sweden, we call it in full length, then we're going to try to stretch out our hands and have everyone formally associated. But for right now, we have Linköping and Norrköping is twin city. We are kind of 40 kilometers away, so it made sense to have Östergötland as regional chapter. And then you have Gothenburg, Umeå, Uppsala. I think Karlstad has been a bit dormant, but there are some things going on there. And then recently we just set up south part of Stockholm called Södertörn, Haninge, university area as well, so maybe you have a thing going there. And also, since I'm an alumni of Linnéuniversitetet, the former Växjö University, that's in Kronoberg län. Then we have SMC Kronoberg, to pronounce it in Swedish. SMC
well, the way that you
Kronoberg.
pronounce it and the way that I pronounce it are totally different. So it's like I'm being introduced to a whole new city. But
yeah,
yes,
exactly.
but we also want to thank you because you've dedicated a lot of time, outside of just chapter leadership to helping Social Media Club Global and just being in strong communication with us. And whenever there's a newly forming chapter in Sweden, you are our first resource for them because of just the guidance and support that you can offer them. So we are very grateful to you, and thank you, Anders. So my last question is, how has social media impacted your life personally and or professionally?
Well, first and foremost, of course, it's very, very great to be a part of a community where you actually can develop professionally, because you get access to learning resources wherever they pop up, and also concrete networking and meeting new people, sharing the same passions and interests and so on. But also provide you with a platform to actually have a context where you can launch initiatives where you foster things. And I'm really keen into this kind of people's learning. We have a concept in Sweden called folkbildning, kind of study circles, co-learning. It's very hard to translate. Literally, it's like a Scandinavian phenomenon. This folkbildung, German, or folkbildnings.
I need to work on my Swedish.
Yeah. So right now I have four in a circle to actually set up social web strategy, small business owners, and so on. So we have stretched out and had a collaboration here with Census, an organization that we have a joint venture. We call it Social Web Guide, where we actually take inspiration from Wikibooks, in a sense, where you actually have concrete guides for everyone to translate in the end, hope, for a global vision, to lower the threshold for people to get online, because in the end, I think it's a question about the democracy and digital participation is something I really have deep into my heart.
Absolutely, and I will say that you're probably on the cutting edge, or really the advanced level content of what's, what you're bringing to the Clubhouse blog, but also the conversations that you're having in Sweden. So I know that introducing a lot of this digital participation and the global, concepts to some of our newly forming chapters, but even chapters who are just engaging in social and, are just learning kind of the entry level or the intro level content rather. I know that your insight and your perspective are very welcomed and very important to Social Media Club. So thank you for all you do for Social Media Club, Anders. And I know you've been with us since the beginning, and we're truly grateful for you. So, and happy anniversary, Social Media Club.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, really, congratulations. And also take the opportunity to thank you all centrally and globally, everywhere you're here. But also, of course, the great posse here in Sweden, wherever you are, especially the board. We're going to have a board camping this weekend, so we really kind of take the celebration of these 5 years seriously. And also together with Twingly celebrating 5 years, so why not pimping them today. So,
in 5 years, we would not be at 5 years if it wasn't for really dedicated local leadership, such as yourself, but I mean across 300 chapters now. So thank you to all of our chapter leaders across the globe, and this is their success too. So we're going to end it here, and thank you, Anders, for joining us. Have a good evening in Sweden, and happy anniversary to Social Media Club.
Yeah, thanks.